Hey everybody, Raven here, back with my partner in coin crime, Stephanie, for episode 2 of season 2 of Coin Shop Talk. Today we're going to be talking about desirable graded coins and old school holders that you want to grab when you see them at any pawn shop, estate sale, what have you. Matter of fact, Stephanie's going to start us off with some really cool stuff about GSAs.
You always want to snatch up the soft pack GSAs if you see them. So here's a soft pack. Kind of looks like a Blue Ike. But this is the GSA that comes with. So the GSA is the Government Service Administration, and they sell anything and everything, apparently. So they started out selling the silver dollars in these little soft packs, just like Yay. And then they got to where they wanted to sell the more valuable ones, the Carson Cities, so they moved into the harder packs. So if you see one of these, whether it's graded or not graded, a GSA hard pack Carson City, they're always going to be worth it, especially if you can get it at a good price. Yep. Now the other GSAs are non-Carson City. There's actually not as many of those. So if you find a non-Carson City GSA, that's one you want to snatch up. And this one happens to be graded. They come graded and ungraded as well.
NGC.
Yep, that's an NGC holder. Well, this is an NGC label, not holder. And these, even for the common dates, go for substantial money above retail. We're talking a few $100s easily. So that's really, really cool.
And with Morgan dollars, there's all kinds of fun little stories, like the story of them under the floor in San Francisco. So they closed the Carson City Mint. I think the last year that they had Carson City dollars was 1893. So after that, they decided they would just move it all to San Francisco. That would be the safest, best place to put it, the San Francisco Mint. But they didn't have any room when they got there. So imagine 1,000 count bags of these. So they just threw them on the floor. And then they started walking on them because why not? They're sturdy, okay? And then someone got the bright idea, I know, let's pave the floor so we don't have to walk on the coins anymore. But they decided to leave the coins there and just pave the floor over the coins, and then they forgot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so in the 70s, or late 60s, early 70s, they were renovating the San Francisco Mint, and they pulled up the floor and all these dollars.
The coin hoard.
Yes, uncirculated GSA. Morgan dollars. I mean...
Can you believe like what happened where back then, even in the 60s, a dollar went a long way. So the fact that they had thousands and thousands of these under the floorboards.
Uncirculated condition.
Yeah.
Just hanging out.
And, so they pulled them out. And matter of fact, Nixon was the president at that time. And what would happen is they sent out little notifications to people saying, hey, we're going to sell these and you're only going to pay a couple bucks a piece, even though we know there's some of the Carson Cities, which were the rare key dates. People were buying those up because they knew they're going to be worth a lot of money.
Yeah, these soft packs started out, $5, $6 a piece, and then they moved over to these hard packs, $60 a piece.
So now you cut forward to today and they're worth an insane amount of money. So other desirable stuff that we have in front of here, we have quite a few examples. First thing I'm going to start off with is if you ever see one of these, it'll say the ANA coin grading, which later became ANACS. And so when you see them like this, you definitely want to grab it because that is a desirable holder. Still a beautiful coin in there at an MS64. But when you see how cool the old little, these are called soapbox holders because they look like little tiny bars of soap. And then it later became this over time where it was ANACS. And you can see on the back how it was certified and everything. There's their little hologram sticker. So that's what you want to look out for ANACS. PCGS, you have the rattlers. These are these right here, and the cool thing about a rattler is
they actually rattle.
Yeah, they sound kind of like a rattlesnake. And so anytime you see a rattler anywhere, like a pawn shop, estate sale, whatnot, you want to grab it. And or if you can get it from a dealer for a decent price, especially if it's got a green cat bean on it, that really substantially increases it.
Explain what that is.
So the green CAC bean is a third-party grader that basically says they agree with the grade of the coin. And that actually adds about 20% more on top of the retail value.
It's been double graded.
Yeah, and it's quite an interesting thing because nowadays they're doing their own grading.
Exactly.
They have their own slabs. This here is a green label PCGS, and these came out in the 90s, like early 90s. You'll see them in a blue. There's some kind of yellowish ones, but all those were like early renditions. We don't have a doily example in front of us. I wish we did, but unfortunately we didn't have one in the inventory. But really, really cool. Next up, we have the NGC fatty holders, and this is actually right here. These two are 4th generation slabs. Beautiful, beautiful coins, but what denotes a fatty slab is you see that thick white centerpiece there, and then these, the reason we know they're 4th generation slabs is they don't have a barcode, and they have the light gray. Now, if you ever see one of these that looks exactly like this, has this kind of font, but it's the whole label is white, that is worth thousands. It's ridiculous. This one here is another gen. I'm not sure if that's a 3 or a 5. I could have researched it, but
it's right around the same time because they don't have that little line that goes across. Yep. There's no design in the background of the label.
And when you flip it over, it has the really old holograph style sticker. I mean, this is when holograph stickers were really first kind of coming into their prime, and so that's really cool.
That's to protect from counterfeiting.
Yep, that is a anti-counterfeiting measure. Sean, our cameraman, has a wealth of knowledge. You'll hear him talking from time to time. He doesn't agree with me, but he knows more than he leads on. All right, this next one is the International Numismatic Society. And you'll see these sometimes, and these holders actually command a heck of a premium because they're older and they're pretty desirable.
Tell them about the older holders with high grades.
So the older holders with older holders with high grades. There are people that literally make a living at going around and finding. Let's say for example, I think probably one of the prettiest ones is this one right here, this MS64 Morgan. Beautiful coin. And so back then the grading standards were actually stricter, and nowadays people are making a pretty good living at buying these older holders, cracking them out, and getting higher grades. Now in some instances with coins, let's say you have a rare Carson City that's in an old holder, you crack it out and it gets a 66 grade. Holy cow, now you just went up thousands of dollars, and you might only pay an extra $40-50 for the holder itself. So there's the tried and true thing is buy the coin, not the holder, but however, sometimes the holder is just as important.
Yes.
Next up, we have the Redfield and Paramount coins that you'll see from time to time. This is a Redfield right here, and it literally says, wait, did I grab the right one? Yeah, the Redfield collection right there. Now, there's a Redfield and then there's Paramount, and these, when you see these, snag them up as quick as you can, because when they get into a dealer's hands or somebody in the know, now a coin that you think is worth $100 is worth $700-800. Can be as high as $1,200, $1,500.
Nice.
Just depends on, if you get lucky and get a Carson City or a key date in there. Like, let's say you pulled like a 93S, holy cow. Not only is that a key date worth a lot of money, you got the Redfield or Paramount holder, you're talking substantially higher.
But even if it's a super common coin that's not in great shape, if it's in that holder, snatch it up.
Yeah, because you're talking, the lowest I've seen these for a super common date lately is about $750. That's $750 for a coin that you might buy raw for $70. Unbelievable. Now, the last group that we have here are photo grade coins. And this is what they used to do back in the day when they first started doing coin grading, is they would take a photo and they'd put the information. Now, this comes from Paramount. The same here, same as this. Paramount Stamp Company, is Stamp and Coin Company. And you see it's got the red background. And then you flip it over and it's got information about the coin and what their guarantee is. Now, the cool thing about these is they would have grades like a 65 out of 65. So, you know, the front and back both graded substantially to get that. This other one is the same company right here. Paramount Stamp and Coin. Again, this got a 65 out of 65. Very cool, and it again just gives you its guarantee of, you know, what the company provides when they're doing the grading service, and so if you want to pause it and read it, you got that right there. Last but definitely not least is the ANACS photo grading. Same cool thing about them. When you look at these, you know, this tells you what the coin is. This one was cleaned, and believe it or not, even though this was cleaned, because it's a photo grade, and a lot of people destroyed them over the years, they're worth quite a bit. And the cool thing again on these, I wish they would do this nowadays, because this actually breaks down why they graded it the way they did. Tells you what were the key points of the coin, you know, the clean fields, how much detail it's got, eye appeal, things like that. Oh, we got somebody coming in, guys. We'll be right back. All right, guys, so we are back, and this is something I wish that coin grading companies still did to this day, because you can see here they're breaking down the grading. The first is luster, so they said, okay, the obverse and reverse had a 60 grade on luster. The surface had a 50 grade, the eye appeal 50 grade, and the strike is a 50 grade. Now, Stephanie's going to explain the Sheldon scale that they used to determine that, because the overall grade on this coin was an AU 50 over 50.
So 50 on the front, 50 on the back, or obverse and reverse.
Yeah.
So the Sheldon scale is the scale that, you know, pretty much everyone uses as far as grading right now to scale up to 70, where 70 is perfect. So the lowest technically is 1 or a fair 2.
P1.
Yeah,
P1.
P1.
Poor 1.
Which are
fair
desirable.
2.
And that's, believe it or not, desirable. It's called a low ball.
You've got about good 3, good 4, good 6,
Yeah.
very good 8, very good 10. It just doesn't go up number by number, but each number has an associated name with it, and you know that's what you're going to see when you send your stuff in to be graded.
Which is pretty cool, because it kind of gives you a good idea, but it would be nice to understand a little more detail like you saw there. But no matter what, ladies and gentlemen, we love doing these kind of videos for you, and we hope that you enjoy this. If there's something you want to see as a video, please leave a comment down below that lets us know what you're looking forward to in the next Coin Shop Talk. If you want to come visit me, Stephanie, cameraman Sean, we're at
9118 South Walker, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma 73139.
Like always, please make sure to take care of one another, and we'll see you real soon. Raven Hawk Coins, have a great day.